Sa pagharap ng bansa sa climate change, hindi maiiwasan ang posibleng pananalasa ng kalikasan. Pero ang mga epekto nito ay pwedeng paghandaan sa tulong ng mga eksperto at mga financial advisors ng World Bank. Balitaan mo kami, Emil, Carreon.
Sa kasalukuyan ay ramdam na ang totoong epekto ng climate change. Hindi lang dito sa atin kundi sa buong mundo. Kabilang ito sa mga tinutukan sa World Economic Forum o WEF. Sa bahagi ng East Asia, ang Pilipinas ay kabilang sa posibleng tamaan ng epekto ng climate change. Una nang ipinaramdam ito sa ng Super Typhoon ni Yolanda sa Visayas Region. Sa mga lugar na ito, patuloy ang pag-ayuda ng pamahalaan, mga pribadong sektor para maibsan ang paghihirap ng mga nakaligtas. Sa konkretong larangan ay ipinatupad ang RAY, ang Recovery Assistance of Yolanda. Gamit dito ang prinsipyo ng Build Back Better sa ayuda pa rin ng World Bank.
The challenges are the same in every country. How do you get central government, local government and communities all lined up and have a flow of funding and a flow of technical assistance that moves all the way up and down? How can you speed up and scale up the response? So housing is a huge issue for the people in Tacloban and the areas around that. So how do you build back to resilient standards, but do that in a quick way? And one of the things that we've learned from Indonesia and elsewhere is that actually making the materials and the funding available to the community and then having the community build their own houses, just providing support and technical assistance on the grade to which those houses must be built and where they need to be, can save money and get things moving in a much more quicker way.
Ayon sa World Bank, nasa tamang direksyon ng pinapatupad na reconstruction at rehabilitation ng bansa. $1 bilyong ang pinangakong ayuda ng World Bank kasama sa tutulungan ang 170 local government units. Ipapatupad ang pagkumpuni sa infrastructure, mga pabahay o housing, public buildings at mga health facilities. Ayon pa kay Kite, may tuturing na modelo para gayahin ng ibang mga bansa ang ginamit na sistema ng Pilipinas. Isang makabagong National Resiliency Fund ang pinapanukala ngayon ni Kite. Ito'y para mapagplanuhan ng maayos at maging handa sa anumang dumarating na pagsubok ng panahon. Bukod pa kasi sa pananalasa ng mga ganitong bagyo at pagbaha, napaparalisa rin ang ekonomiya ng bansa. Sa pahayag naman ni DNR Secretary Ramon Pahe, binabalangkas ngayon ng isang National Climate Mitigation Resiliency Fund. Ito'y katulad ng panukala ng World Bank.
What we're now doing is discussing with the government how to build a national financial resilience for the Philippines. Development will be more expensive, building back better and building resilience into the infrastructure so that when the next storm hits, it doesn't have such an extreme impact. That's going to cost more. Local governments have to be financially resilient so that they can invest in their agriculture system so that they're not quite so vulnerable. And then households have to be resilient. That people need to be able to have the means to be able to bounce back quicker. All of that's going to cost money, but I think the international community is ready to help, and so is the private sector. And so that's the conversation that's going on here, is how can we respond to a call from the Philippine government to really help the Philippines build its entire resilience.
It is more beneficial if you invest on resiliency. Based on the information of the World Bank, as of now, 90% of the fund with respect to disaster is being invested on response. And that is not, and only around 4% is being invested on preparedness. What they are encouraged to do right now is to look on resiliency. Invest on resiliency because in the long run it is more favorable. They are pushing for a climate change adaptation and disaster resilience fund. And this is good for us because as they said, we are not an emitter. We did not create this disaster, but somehow Philippines is in the wrong place at the wrong time. So we are not considered emitter. We did not create this disaster, but we are affected tremendously by the effect of these disasters. And it is for us to mitigate the impact and somehow invest on resiliency.
Sa bahagi naman ng DPWH, itatayo ang isang Disaster Resource Response Protocol. Ayon kay DPWH Secretary Rogelio Singson, sa tulong ng mga pribado at humanitarian groups, pagtitibay nito sa harapan ng mapaminsalang pagbabago ng panahon.
Every time there's a disaster event, we start putting together the same people and trying to identify again what will be the role of private, what will be the role of the NGOs, World Bank, donor community, and the public. This happens every time there's an event. So the decision, and I think the experience of the three countries that put this together, Indonesia, India, and one more country, is that at least it is already organized. It is in place, ready to respond. The private sector in the Philippines, particularly the Philippine Contractors Association, took on the challenge.
Mula sa report ni Freddy Abando para sa Telebisyon ng Bayan, ako si Emil Carreon.